Why should you play Ambessa? Ambessa has great carry potential, is one of the funnest champions in the game, and when mastered has a lot of potential to outplay the opponents. So in this video I will teach you everything there is to know about her, tips and tricks, interesting interactions and more. So let's start by diving into her passive. When Ambessa uses an ability, she can dash in any direction. Each ability also gives her a charge, boosting her attack range and attack speed. Her attacks use a big charge to deal extra damage and restore her energy. Bro, her passive alone makes her one of the most difficult champions in the game, but everyone that takes the time to master her will be really strong. Also known as high skill ceiling, high reward champion. If you ever played an energy champion, you will understand how important the restoration part of her passive is. With mana champions, you can just spam your abilities without auto-attacking and it's fine. But if I use my abilities without auto-attacking, I will have no energy. And if I then let my empowered auto-attacks run out, I will be completely useless in teamfights. So really make sure to get those empowered auto-attacks in. This also means that your passive is way less effective at running away, because you will have no opportunity to auto-attack and gain some energy back. Your empowered auto-attacks bonus damage and energy restoration cannot be blocked, dodged and or missed while you are blinded. This is so weird, no? Your auto attacks can be blocked, but that little extra damage will still go through. I first thought that Jax or Shen could be a great counter for her, but apparently not as good as I thought. Even though your auto attacks will practically deal no damage, you can still attack them to get your energy refunded at least. If they could block the energy refund part of her passive, that would be so strong against her. Stride Breaker is really good on Ambessa, because you can use it during your passive dash to not waste any time and deal a lot of damage. But be careful to not use it too early, because that will simply cancel your dash. This also works with all other Tiamat items, by the way. You can flash after your dash, during your dash, and even before the dash has started, to reposition yourself even better. Ambessa becomes one of the champions with the longest attack ranges thanks to her passive. This allows you to hit enemy champions way easier over small walls, or even those control wards that are hard to reach. Also, don't forget that you cannot jump over walls with your dash. Now to her Q tips and tricks. Ambessa sweeps her blades in an arc, dealing extra damage to enemies on the edge. After hitting an enemy, you can recast this ability, making Ambessa slam down her blades, dealing bonus damage to the first enemy hit. When Riot says first enemy hit, they actually mean the closest enemy. That can be a minion or another champion. And for the rune sudden impact, for the people that don't know, sudden impact deals bonus true damage on your next ability after a dash. So really good on Ambessa. It works the same. So the closest enemy will actually get more than twice the damage. So to deal the most damage to an enemy, you should really make sure there's nothing in between you and the enemy champion you want to target, especially when you are trying to poke them in lane. Speaking of poke, since Ambessa has a free dash with every ability, you can get some nice pokes off in lane. All you have to do is just Q1 and dash away, and then you can do the same thing again with Q2. You can even poke enemies under tower like that. Just Q and dash away. Oh, that tower hit me. You know why? You know why? Because I did it the wrong way to show you there's actually a correct way of poking enemies under tower that really lowers the chance of you getting hit by a tower shot. All you have to do is really pay attention to the tower shots. If you hit an enemy before the tower started shooting, it will instantly target you and you will get hit way faster. But if you start hitting an enemy while a tower shot is traveling to a minion, you have significantly more time before you get targeted by the tower. Your Q will be cast at the end of your flash animation. So it's really good to Q and then flash to give your enemies no time to react. But note that if you Q and then flash to a different direction, your Q will follow the direction you faced after your flash. So sometimes it's still better to flash and then Q to hit the enemies you want to hit. When Ambessa casts her Q, it will be interrupted if she is killed before the ability fully completes. However, if she has a revive like Guardian Angel and Zillions are, your ability will still go through even though you died. Now her W tips and tricks, but before we continue, I just want to say that I work really hard on these videos. The moment I come back from either school or work, I legit write, record and edit all these videos by myself, and I put my heart and soul into these videos. So the only thing I'm asking is please consider subscribing if you like the video so far. That's it, thank you very much. So her W. Ambessa gains a shield and then slams the ground. If she receives damage from an enemy champion, large monster or structure before smashing the ground, she will deal extra damage. To trade effectively in lane, aim to use your W while the enemy is planning to attack you. This will help you land extra damage and make your trades overall stronger. But when you see enemies with perma damage abilities like Mordekaiser's passive or Amumu's W, make sure you start your W inside their damage area to get a guaranteed empowered W off. Since if you start your W outside the damage area while jumping into it, it will not empower your W. You can use flash during the passive dash animation of your W, but that's not ideal, because there's a high chance you will cancel your dash animation short by flashing. So instead use W, choose the direction you want to dash, and before you even start dashing, use flash. This way you cannot cancel your dash short, making sure you maximize the distance traveled. And just like your Q, your W will get cancelled if you die during the animation. But with the resurrect, your W slam will not get cancelled. Also, Tiamat works in a funny way with Ambessa's W. If you try to activate Tiamat at the exact moment you use your W, it will not trigger. However, if you wait until near the end of the W animation, Tiamat will activate right after the W slam. If you use Tiamat during the middle of the W animation, both the slam and Tiamat will occur at the same time. Understanding this timing will really help you maximize your damage output in fights. Bro, just look at the DPS difference. Now let's go to her E. Ambessa whips her chains in a circle, damaging and briefly slowing enemies. Using her passive will trigger an additional strike. Now that you have seen Ambessa's basic abilities, there's one major thing she's lacking in her kit. Bro, she doesn't have a strong crowd control in her basic abilities. So because of this, Ambessa has to really rely on perfect positioning to win fights. Firstly, you need crazy positioning to deal as much damage as you can to the enemies, especially since Q1 deals more damage with the outer edge, and for Q2 there must be nothing in between you and the enemy champion you want to damage. Secondly, your passive is a really powerful tool to dodge enemy abilities, so if you really master the flow of her passive dashes, you will receive way less damage in fights. Ambessa is not that champ that can just stun someone and kill that person in stun duration. You really need a lot of skill to make her work. Your E doesn't really have a cast time, you know. So look, this is what I mean. If you use E and then Q, there's a delay between both abilities. But look, if you use Q and then E, it will proc at the same exact time. Did you see? Even the game registered both abilities under the same damage counter. So if you buy Eclipse, for example, it will instantly proc. This even works with items like Tiamat, and if you time it super well, you can even use your E during an auto attack. So mastering the timing of your E will greatly increase your DPS since there's no time wasted. Noobs will auto attack, E, auto attack. Pros, however, will auto attack E, auto attack. Same combo, different DPS. Also, if you flash right after the first spin, but before the second spin begins, you can actually start your auto attack animation during the second spin animation. So knowing all this might be the most advanced Ambessa combo there is, with like 2 animation cancels in 1 second or something. Trust me, this took me like an hour to do. So if you managed to do it, please send me proof on Discord. Or even if you just have a simple question, you can just ping me in general chat. I really wouldn't mind. I like talking to you guys. And lastly, her R. Ambessa passively gains armor penetration and heals from her abilities. For the active part, Ambessa becomes unstoppable, blinking to the furthest enemy champion in a line and then slamming them to deal damage and applying a stun. Ambessa is another great champion because she has crazy stats like certain champions.
Ignite.
But she is really great because she has so much potential to outplay others. And it takes her a rather long time to kill someone because she has shit scalings on her abilities. Also, because she doesn't have CC, she has no way to lock an enemy down before guaranteeing her R.
I'm gonna alter just to... Oh, I think I missed my ult.
I guess something that you can do is slow an enemy down with your E to have a higher chance to land your R. So that's something, I guess. When using Ambessa's ultimate, you'll always land on the opposite side of the target you've blinked to. However, there's a useful thing to note. When casting your R near a turret, much like Yasuo's ultimate, you'll automatically be positioned just outside of that turret's range. This slight repositioning can really help you avoid taking unnecessary tower shots. Obviously, when you get CC'd, you cannot use your R, but if you already started using your R, it won't get cancelled. So if you see champions like Morgana or Lux with a predictable CC, you can start channeling your R, and even if you get hit by their CC, you will still blink behind them. When you use Ambessa's R on an enemy with a spell shield, you will still blink to the enemy's position, but the spell shield will block the damage and CC effect. Of course, after the blink, you can still use your passive dash right after to reposition yourself better. Also, if you miss your R completely, you still used an ability, right? So you can still dash thanks to your passive. You can still hit an enemy with your R even if they are invisible, and it will reveal them for the whole R duration, which is so strong. That's why Oracle Lens on Ambessa is so strong. All her abilities have AoE, so if you know where an enemy is, you can still hit them with all your abilities. Please don't forget to auto-attack something around you, because you need that energy back, remember? Same as your other abilities, your R will get cancelled if you die, but if you have a resurrect, it will not get cancelled and you will blink to that location. And the final tip of this Ambessa guide is subscribe, because next video I will teach you how to actually counter Ambessa.